Good morning.
Good morning, Haley. Great to be with you.
So, quickly, let's explain what burnout is, because sometimes it can look pretty similar to depression.
Yes, well, I think the two are intertwined. I think you nailed it on the intro. Burnout is really mental and physical fatigue caused by chronic stress. And chronic stress is really a serious condition. It actually contributes to aging. And the four diseases of aging, cardiovascular disease, metabolic syndrome, obesity, and type 2 diabetes, neurodegenerative disease like dementia and cancer. So chronic stress is a serious disorder, and we need to really have a plan to address it.
Yeah, and it sounds like it certainly leads to chronic diseases that nobody wants. So what's causing chronic stress? What are we doing to make this happen to ourselves?
Well, I think the causes are numerous, but I think all of us are a bit burnt out right now, Haley. I don't remember a time in my lifetime where we've had so much ambient stress with wars and constant exposure to innocent people being killed. The political divide is unprecedented in my lifetime. Again, social media, concerns about AI, the environment, eco-anxiety. We're still suffering some reverberations from COVID. So I think we're all undergoing a lot of stress right now. And then we have the usual things associated with individual lives superimposed on that. So I think there are a lot of causes, and it's not surprising that so many people are experiencing chronic stress.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, just with access to all of the information in the world at our fingertips, I mean, we feel a big weight on us all the time. But the solution can't be that we get rid of the internet or we get rid of our phones. I mean, we are a society that now depends on them. So what would your remedies for a burnout be?
Well, I define resilience as the ability to neutralize the adverse changes associated with acute stress. So those are, for example, an elevation in the adrenaline and cortisol in our blood. It's okay to experience those on an acute basis. We need to have resilience so we can bring those things back down to baseline and avoid or mitigate chronic stress. And the ways to do that are focusing on our physical health and our mental and spiritual health. So for physical health, sleep, exercise, and nutrition, we really need to have a plan. And for our mental and spiritual health, as you mentioned, meditation practice, a mindfulness practice, learning deep breathing techniques, things that we can do to interrupt the acute stress and prevent it from becoming chronic stress.
I love when people say deep breathing, because I always thought that was too simple until I actually started using it in my own life, and I realized how it does work. For forever, we've been telling people diet and exercise, and I think people got used to hearing diet and exercise, but I love how you mentioned sleep and meditation. Those you're putting on the same level as the importance of diet and exercise?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, sleep, exercise, and nutrition are very intertwined. And, we don't sleep well, we're stressed, so we're fatigued. We tend to pick up sugary and fatty, so-called comfort foods for a boost.
Sure.
Then we crash even more. We're too tired to exercise. And those are really sleep, exercise, nutrition, the fundamentals of our physical well-being. But also, yes, deep breathing. Deep breathing is a part of almost all meditation practice, but just the act of breathing very deliberately, slowly inhaling through the nose, pausing, and slowly exhaling activates our vagus nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system, and that combats acute stress because it neutralizes the sympathetic response, which is basically the acute stress response.
Yeah, and for me, it can be as simple as 5 deep breaths in and out, and that will help bring you back to normal. But what else would meditation include for you? What else would you suggest people doing?
Gain without pain. The GAIN is an acronym for what I think are the 4 pillars of mental and spiritual wellness. They are gratitude, acceptance, intention, and non-judgment. So we combine the deep breathing practice with then sort of a self-guided contemplative 3 to 5 minutes of contemplating that for which we're grateful, accepting things that are uncomfortable that we can't change, focusing on our intention to be more present and positive, and the end game being non-judgment, learning to drop the judgments of the world, others, and ourselves. And those judgments, due to our negativity bias, are often negative. So then we return to the breath And that practice can be done in 3 to 5 minutes every morning. But, there are other forms of meditation, certainly, but it can be a very simple, brief practice.
I think people just assume meditation is, you have to get on the ground and cross your legs, like that idea that we have this like cartoon image, but really you're telling us that we can incorporate it really in simple ways throughout our day.
Oh, absolutely. People think that we have to sit still for 30 minutes and banish all thoughts from our mind, and very few of us can do that. So no, it can be a very simple practice.
Yeah, I've never been able to accomplish it, but I hear what you're saying, that just becoming mindful throughout the day can help you narrow your focus back to your immediate surroundings instead of worrying about things that you are really beyond your control.
Yes, and Haley, we'll do a gain meditation sometime off air. So, let me know when you're ready.
I'd love that. We should have you in studio to talk about that. That'd be great.
Would love to.
All right, Dr. Hammer, thank you for your time this morning. As I mentioned, I'd love to have you back. Anything else you'd like to say before I let you go today, though?
No, I just would like everybody to know that, we're all feeling stressed. We all have this negativity bias. And as you said, chronic stress and depression go together. So if you're experiencing that, you're not alone. I think that's the first thing that helps us all. And of course, if it's serious, then we'd like to all get professional help if necessary.
Yeah, and as I've been reporting on the loneliness crisis, I think this just propels you into loneliness too if you don't kind of nip this in the bud.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Hammer, thank you so much.